We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
That's fantastic.
Good God.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
We finally caught up with James Nathaniel Jones, or Natty as he's known, at his ultra-modern desert getaway. Natty insisted we conduct the interview here, instead of his famed Los Angeles compound. We didn't ask why.
Where's my Bloody Mary?
Natty has been one of Hollywood's most successful film and television producers over the past 30 years. With over 50 films and more than 100 television shows to his resume, Natty has also picked up 17 Oscars and 26 Emmys over the course of his illustrious career.
All right, got it.
Oh, Mr. Jones, your maid told me.
Svetlana! Bloody Mary!
She's working on your drink.
And like, there's a cut,
Okay.
and then the crew is like murmuring or whatever, and he goes to talk, and he's like,
I like that. So
I'd
we
like
actually
to-
going to get this thing started? Or am I just going to sit here and drink all day?
Well, we've been very much looking forward to this conversation, Natty, and we all really appreciate you letting us into your fabulous home to do this. So tell us, why did you finally agree to sit down and do this interview?
Because your crew would not stop calling me. I mean, why does anyone do anything? It's my destiny. I don't know. Nobody else is going to tell this story. And I want a record of my life's work. Show people kind of what happens from the inside, some tricks of the trade, etc. And some truth about some really crazy things. Not that it'll matter. I mean, nobody watches indie documentaries.
Okay, fair enough, but what if people do see it?
Well, it likely won't make a damn bit of difference, like I said. You see, the people can rarely accept the truth. Regular people, they're sheep. They get sheared over and over, year after year, generation after generation. You see, it takes courage to accept the truth. And most people, they don't want to accept it.
So, what is the truth?
That's a big question for a simple man like me. Assuming one man even knows the truth. I can only speak to one small part. Look around. I live like a king. I have my whole life. Why? Because I'm such a genius? Come on. Plenty of people are very smart. They're hardworking. Yet, they live their entire lives like a peasant. Why? Because they're not in the game. They don't even know there's a game. They're oblivious, pawns to be sacrificed.
I'm asking you, Mr. Trudeau, and here is my question today. How do you justify to a mother of 4 children, 3 grandchildren, physical disabilities, and working up to 15 hours a day, how is it justified for you to ask me to pay a carbon tax when I only have $65 left of my paycheck every 2 weeks to feed my family?
The federal government's decision to put a price on carbon is something that we have moved forward with, and it's one that is causing consternation amongst a broad range of people, and I understand. We are facing a challenge where we have to change behaviors.
Prospect Estates is a luxury villa in Jamaica with sweeping ocean views that don't come cheap. The rooms go for as much as $9,000 a night. The Trudeaus spent their Christmas vacation there.
$160,000 of taxpayer expenses for the Prime Minister to go down to the private villa, luxurious villa of a super rich Trudeau Foundation donor.
Something's wrong with our system, and I have faith in you and God that you're going to work hard to fix it.
Me? I'm in the game. I didn't invent the game. I don't run the game. I don't really even endorse the game. But I do perform a very important function in the game. And that's why I'm so well taken care of.
Flying Private. The other Mile High Club. From celebs to billionaire entrepreneurs, those who can afford it, board it. From Kylie Jenner's infamous 17-minute private jet ride from LA to Camarillo, to Drake's 18-minute jaunt in his home province of Ontario, celebrities appeared to be using their jets the way ordinary folks make trips to the grocery store. Elon Musk disliked this particular type of notoriety so much that he dismantled private jet tracking accounts soon after he purchased Twitter.
What do you say to the charge that if you are a climate change campaigner, but you also travel around the world on a private jet, you're a hypocrite?
Well, I buy the gold standard of funding Climeworks to do direct air capture that far exceeds my family's carbon footprint.
The game.
Yes, the real game, the power game. I keep the people entertained, distracted, living in a dreamland, so that the real game can be played, offset, out of sight. Show business, my friend. Show business and television. Show business, television. That's the side of the game I'm in. You see?
I've seen you mention the term Barnum statements in various interviews and such. Can you tell us what a Barnum statement is?
Yeah, Barnum statement, yes. Barnum statement, it's a statement. It sounds very specific, meaningful, even profound. But, in fact, it's meaningless because it means something different to everyone. See, it's all filtered through the individual's mind. Then they project their own values and desires into the words, and they assume that everybody else is thinking the Barnum statement means the same thing that they've imagined.
So it's basically an ambiguous statement?
Well, it's not just an ambiguous statement. Lots of statements are ambiguous. It's a nice day. That's an ambiguous statement. What's a nice day? Maybe you like it cool and rainy. Maybe you like it hot and sunny. Maybe you like the snow. See, the hallmark of a Barnum statement is that it's an ambiguous statement, but it plays on your emotions. It moves you, herds you in a certain direction. I mean, it leverages an emotion without the person realizing it. They move you, they tie you to some kind of emotional idea. It's a nice day. It's ambiguous, sure, but who cares, right? It's not designed to play on your emotions, so it's not a Barnum statement, you see?
Okay. Give us some good examples of Barnum statements.
Your vote counts. They're a threat to our democracy. He's working hard for you. We got to bring the country together.
We have to do everything we can to bring our country together.
Now is the time to bring the country together.
The president has done a lot to bring this country together.
Stuff like that. It's meaningless. It's drivel, but it stirs the people's emotions.
So with American pride swelling in our hearts and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight.
For those who've abandoned hope, we'll restore hope and we'll welcome them into a great national crusade to make America great again.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
See, the political structure is presented as the power structure, and the people, they have to be made to believe that this is their country, that they're in charge, that their politician cares about them, that he's fighting for them. And in fact, he needs your help to save the country.
Democracy itself is on the ballot right now. So if you want to send a message, make it loud.
Our freedom and our future is in our hands. We have just a few days left to complete this no-fail mission that we have before us to save our country.
America, as we begin this election year, we must be clear. Democracy is on the ballot. Your freedom is on the ballot.
Politics, like entertainment, it only works if the audience buys in. They have to be invested. They have to care. They have to care about their team and all the wonderful things that their team's going to do for them if they can get elected one more time. Because it's the most important election of our lifetime.
This is the most important election in the history of our country.
This election is the most important in the modern history of this country.
The election in 2020, without hyperbole, is going to be the most important election this country has undergone.
This November's elections are more important than any I can remember in my lifetime, and that includes when I was on the ballot.
There are just 8 days left in what is the most important election of our lifetimes.
We know what is on the line and what is the truly most important election of our lifetime.
This election is the most important election in our lifetimes.
This is, I think, going to be the most important election that we've ever had.
In every campaign, they tell you the same thing. This is the most important election
in a generation, the most important election in our lifetime. This one truly is.
2008 is the most important election in our lifetime.
This is the most important election of our lifetime.
All these choices make this one of the most important elections in our history.
1996, in my opinion, is going to be the most important election of our lifetimes.
This is one of the most important elections in the history of the United States of America.
Before one of the most important elections in the nearly 200 years history of our country.
I think this election is one of the most vital in the history of America.
Perhaps, as Senator Kennedy has already indicated, the most important election in our history.
Never in the history of the country has it been as necessary for the Democrats to win an election as it is now.
We face one of the great choices of history.
You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
And the reality is that the politicians are more like actors. The real power struggle, it takes place behind the scenes.
It's very orchestrated. I would say that it's mostly like some kind of entertainment programming for people. It's not really it's not really a representative democracy or anything like that. It's a show that is put on to give you the perception that there is a representative government. Yeah. And that's not what's happening.
Trump is inviting McMahon back. Hey! Oh my God! Mr. McMahon just got shoved on his billionaire butt!
But the president has real power. So do the men and women in government. That's clear.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, in some sense. But do the actors in my movies, do they have any real power? I mean, you don't have a movie without them, of course. But do they have any real power in the movies? No. It's all scripted. I hired them. I can fire them. They're interchangeable.
Presidents come and go, and even the parties in power change. But the main political direction does not change. That's why, in the grand scheme of things, we don't care who's the head of the United States. We know more or less what is going to happen.
See, the people, they have to be made to believe in the system itself first. Because if you don't have the hearts and minds of the people, they're very difficult to control. But if the people believe they're in control, well, there's nothing to rebel against. So they have to be made to believe that they live in the greatest freedom machine ever created. I mean, who doesn't want to support the greatest freedom machine ever created?
We, the people, tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We, the people, are the driver. The government is the car.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
That star-spangled banner still waves over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
America's the place where freedom reigns and liberty will never die.
We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
I made a fortune selling that swill to the masses. They drink it up. Sorry, my throat cleared up there. I don't want it to stay. It's essential that the people keep believing that it's all on the up and up. And the only reason that it's not working is because they haven't gotten the right people in there yet. You see, it's their fault. They're not working hard enough. They're not doing enough. They're not voting hard enough. They can never be allowed to look outside that box and see that the system's not screwed up. See, it's working exactly as it's designed. In fact, Do you know how you determine what a system is designed to do?
How?
You observe what the system actually does. And as simple as that is, most people, they can't do that. And so guys like me will continue to live like kings, making TV shows and movies and political campaigns. That makes sure the people never catch on.
You've been involved in political campaigns?
I didn't say that. I said guys like me. And even if I had ever done work like that, I wouldn't be at liberty to discuss. But I can say this. Those ridiculous political campaigns, they don't make themselves. It's a pageant. It's show business. Television.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
With our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother.
The news, the media constantly confirms to the people, see, that they're free and in charge, that they have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How do they participate in this amazing freedom machine? They vote, okay? The holy vote, okay? Election day is the day where the people's voice is heard.
Why do you vote, Mama?
I vote because it's really important that my voice is heard.
On November 3rd, it's your turn to let your voice be heard.
Your turn to speak your mind with your vote.
My voice.
My responsibility. My ballot.
My vote.
I'm voting to get money out of politics.
I'm voting to end racial injustice.
I'm voting for better schools.
I'm voting to protect my right to vote.
Describe Democrats.
Gun control, handouts, debt, just a general disdain for God and country, in my opinion.
The Democrat Party is a crime syndicate, not a real political party.
What are Republicans like?
People that don't have a clue. Close-minded. Stuffy. They're mean.
In some sense, some of them are racist.
The whole idea of two sides fighting it out in politics, that's kabuki theater.
I come out of the Democratic Party, which in this century has produced Woodrow Wilson and Franklin Roosevelt and Harry Truman. Mr. Nixon comes out of the Republican Party. The question before us is, which point of view and which party do we want to lead the United States?
You were wrong to attack my patriotism. I was opposed to the war, but I love my country. And we need a president who'll bring this country together, not divide it. We've had enough division. I want to lead a unified country.
There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer
How much did you cut them by?
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
The government always wins. The people, they can't win. They're not even on the ballot. And the blue team, those fools, they want more government control. Those idiots, they don't need any convincing.
I woke up this morning with so much hope in my heart because I get to vote for Kamala Harris.
I voted! Go blue! Woo-hoo-hoo!
It's the red team that you have to do all the work on. So what you do is you set about convincing them that the system itself is fan-fucking-tastic. See, it's the most brilliant system ever devised. The only catch is that you have to get the right people in there.
Hey, Mom, Trump's our president!
Is he really?
Yeah!
Oh, thank you, God. Thank you. I've been up here praying and praying.
Yeah! Trump, motherfucker, yeah!
Never mind that nobody has ever gotten the right people in there. And you never will. How can you? Voting for red versus blue? They're on the same team.
I was very honored, very honored, when I heard that President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton was coming today. I'd like you to stand up. And honestly, there's nothing more I can say because I have a lot of respect for those two people.
So it's a people problem, no? The founding fathers said we needed a well-informed citizenry to avoid tyranny.
The people, they just can't accept what's right in front of their face. You keep assuming that the system's not working. Look, if you want to keep believing in a fairy tale that a long time ago, a group of rich, powerful men wearing knickers and powdered wigs, they created a freedom machine that's now controlled by we the people and their sacred vote. Knock yourself out. I'm going to keep living the high life. You're going to keep paying for it. So, thank you for your service.
But we must always remember that a free constitution of civil government cannot be purchased at too dear a rate, as there is nothing on this side of Jerusalem of greater importance to mankind. I see a new nation, not an empire, but a republic. While I live, let me have a country. A free country.
The great thing about America is here. Kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your hands. The idea of America lies in your hands. You just have to keep faith. Keep the faith.
Why are you telling the people all of this? Won't this hurt your business?
Come on, get real. Most people, they're not going to believe anything I'm saying. It'd be too painful. They'd have to face an entire life of having been duped at a very fundamental level. See, most people, they're not capable of something like that.
I've been a fairly long-term Democrat, and this year in particular, I'd say this is probably, again, one of the most important elections of our lifetime.
I am so excited and I'm so thankful that we're going to move forward as a country in a positive way.
Loud white men for Kamala, join the call!
Yeah!
Yeah! Who are you voting for?
Kamala!
Yeah! We're voting for Kamala!
Trump is the greatest president of all time. His 4 years were the best America has ever been.
This is the holy war in the United States. We're fighting for God by voting for Trump.
What would you like Donald Trump to do if he's reelected?
Get all the swamp out.
How's he going to do that?
Drain them.
I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
So I think we've covered Barnum statements. Before we move on, is there anything else you want to say about them?
Look, Barnum statements only work if you can't recognize them. That's important. See, if the people, if they could just see them for the linguistic trickery that they are, they wouldn't work on them. They could see through them. They could see the people using them as the cheap hucksters that they are.
Her approach to the world is an open hand, not a closed fist. She recognizes we're all in this together, and we're all better off, and we're all better off. Her approach to the world is an open hand, not a closed fist. She recognizes we're all in this together, and we're all better off. We're all better off.
In the final analysis, we are one people, one family, one house, the American house, the American family.
This is a moment in time that is requiring us each as individuals and collectively to look in a mirror and ask, who are we? We must stand together and never let anyone stand alone in their fight. No one should be made to stand alone in their fight.
Yeah, right. You know, one of the things I'm the most proud of in my career over the years is I've had some of the greatest fans in the industry. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. One of my favorite things to do is go down to a local bar, have a few beers with just some regular folks, talk, you know. See, that keeps me humble and it keeps me grounded with my audience. Okay, cut. Okay, does that come off that sincere enough?
Let's do another one, but this time tone it down a bit and be more authentic.
Oh, what? No, come on. That was good. That was very good. Okay, the people, they're gonna eat that shit up. Let's go. Fuck off.
You did good. I love you. Okay. I wish I could be you.
Father, I want to thank you for being with us, bringing us here safely to enjoy the great night of bull riding here at Buffalo Chip. We also thank you for Mercer Rodeo Company and RS Rodeo and the work they do to put on such a great show for us. We pray keep those animals healthy as they ride for us, but we especially pray for the cowboys. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
You know, it really bothers me sometimes to see so many good people taken advantage of by the predators and parasites who lie to them and use the things they love and care about against them. If I could snap my fingers and wake the people from this trance they've been under, I would. But I can't, so they'll continue to get screwed day after day, year after year, until they open their damn eyes and stop imagining they can vote their way out of this shit.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Natty Jones? Country star?
It's a big movie.
Natty Jones.
I'm sure you all have heard about the Build Back Better agenda. In my briefing documents, it usually says BBB. But some have been asking, well, what exactly does that mean?
It's a very pertinent question to ask, how do we build back better?
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
My plan to build back better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
Build it back better.
Build back better.
Build back better.
One of the functions of your subconscious mind is to keep you safe. People, they're pack animals, and the safety's in the pack. So, if you want to modify somebody's behavior to benefit you, what you do is you feed them this repetitive content. And the subconscious mind, it does the rest. It's out scanning and vacuuming up all this content to see what the pack's doing, saying, and thinking to keep you safe.
There's no doubt about it. Masks are one of the best tools we have to control the spread of coronavirus. The science is clear. Even if you're not experiencing any symptoms, you could still have the virus and could spread it inadvertently. So for your safety and the safety of others, keep wearing those masks.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Wear a, shall we say, darn mask. That's Jennifer Aniston's brand new message to her 34 million followers as she posted this masked up photo. Now she's urging her fans everywhere to encourage those around you to wear one too.
How can I have more compassion? How can I have more courage? How can I be more fair? How do I make sure I wear the damn mask?
Put on the mask. It's not complicated.
Everyone needs to wear a mask in public. Period.
And then it will compel the person to behave, even to believe in a way that's consistent with what you've been feeding them.
So you can hand me a mask,
I can hand you one, yeah.
but you can't hand me the drink without a mask?
You've got to wear a mask.
How does that make any sense?
That's what I just need you to wear a mask when you GMI.
Well, if you can hand me a mask, why can't you just hand me the drink?
I can hand you the mask.
Assistant Manager Pedro Najera says that's when a verbal altercation broke out.
He tried to say, oh, you're wearing the mask, so you're safe already. It's my problem. I told him, no, it's not. You could be a carrier.
For Najera, the issue is personal.
People are saying it's a myth or it's a lie. I mean, there's bodies everywhere.
She's accused of telling customers not to wear masks in Bowrell's organic store.
Mark!
Shoved in the police truck, then he's arrested too.
A deadly encounter with a sheriff's deputy in Michigan reportedly stemming from an argument over face masks. A man wielding a knife charging the deputy after she confronted him for reportedly stabbing a 77-year-old who requested that he wear a mask while in public. The deputy firing her weapon, killing the suspect. That incident coming just days after a violent encounter in Miami that also began with an argument over face masks.
The thing is, almost everybody is subject to this kind of simple technique. But most people, they can't accept that because it's an ego thing. See, it's an ego thing.
I don't like talking like this. I don't like being like this. In person, I prefer to see the best in people and relate to people through common humanity, even when we disagree. But these devices and these platforms are being used by radical Republicans to destroy and undermine our democracy.
And of course, they're sick and weak from poison food, poison air, poison water, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, nonstop porn, on and on. The vast majority of the people, they stay basically enslaved with this simple technique.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish the same story without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that's the truth.
Wow, Natty, that's dark.
Well, dark or not, that's reality. And you see, most people, they're good, they're decent, well-meaning, but they're also weak, kind of cowardly. And the idea of this large number of people who are in positions of power and control, the so-called elite, being bad-intentioned people, very manipulative, very ruthless. That's scary to people. But that's the reality.
That may or may not be true, but to be fair, do you have any actual hard proof to show any of this?
You just keep making my point that the people can't accept what's right in front of them. I don't have any proof. The proof, it's all around you. I mean, look, if the people, they want to continue to deny what they can see with their own eyes, and instead continue to believe the utter bullshit they're being fed all the time by the system, then they kind of have it coming.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
People can either open their mind and their eyes, or they can just stay slaves.
Yeah, but the people are waking up, right? I mean, it seems like the people are starting to notice all of this.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. You know, we are like way down the road on this whole thing, and it doesn't seem to matter what the people are shown.
Today, I'm proud to say that under the UK's presidency, the group of the world's 7 most advanced economies, the G7, is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
No matter how much open corruption, they see the government doing terrible things, being caught lying over and over.
It is my duty to the American people to report that renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas in the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
A few months ago, I told the American people I did not trade arms for hostages. My heart and my best intentions still tell me that's true, but the facts and the evidence tell me it is not.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
No matter how we reform health care, we will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period.
With this track record, Iraqi denials of supporting terrorism take their place alongside the other Iraqi denials of weapons of mass destruction. It is all a web of lies.
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, too. Anyway.
The people can't seem to be objective. They've been projecting their own naive good intentions into institutions and individuals like that for so long that they can't see what's right in front of them.
When people are vaccinated, they can feel safe that they are not going to get infected.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
We are the vaccine. Get your shot right now in your arm. It won't hurt. Then go hug your mom. Get your shot. Hug your mom.
The vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
I got infected about 2 weeks ago. It was my third infection, and I had been vaccinated and boosted a total of 6 times.
The vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
The people always seem to lose, don't they, Natty? Do you have any white pills to offer here? I mean, eventually the people are going to win, right?
I know one thing. Natty's going to win. Svetlana! Another Bloody Mary. I like to keep an even tan year round. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you are good. I'm not gonna lie. I keep a Lambo 63 at the marina out in Malibu. But when I'm out here, sometimes I like to sneak away and be alone. A buddy I grew up with owns this marina, and I come here whenever I want. Just jump on a little pontoon, skip around the lake a bit. It gives me time to think. The people running it all, they want everything. All the power, all the control, all the resources. It's unquenchable. It's an insatiable desire just for more. Regular people, they can't understand that. They really just can't relate to it. It's an addiction of sorts, I suppose. Natty, what's that ring all about? This ring. Picture a beautiful castle, magical grounds, everything you could ever want inside. Money, power, sex, women, drugs. But there are also secrets in there. Once you agree to go in, you can never leave. If you try to leave, they'll fucking kill you. But who would want to leave a beautiful, magical castle?
Natty, let's get into what you do, film and television. You've had an extremely successful career with some of the biggest names in the business. What lessons have you learned in the industry that apply to what we've been talking about in this film?
What lessons have I learned? You know, there's a lot of quality, sincere entertainment out there. I mean, there has to be. Otherwise, the people wouldn't be hooked on it. But why is it you think that I make so many movies and TV shows about the police? You know, the honest cop sacrificing to protect the public against crime and terror.
LAPD!
weapons down and come out with your hands high.
Hands on the car. Turn around, get down on your knees. Hands behind your head. Got him.
Now, doesn't that make it all worthwhile?
No. But it helps.
Legal dramas where, you know, the system, it's not perfect, but there's always justice, and it's still the best system in the world.
The truth is the most important value we have, because if the truth does not endure, if the government murders truth, if we cannot respect the hearts of these people, then this is not the country in which I was born in, and it's certainly not the country that I want to die in. Show this world that this is still a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Nothing as long as you live will ever be more important. It's up to you.
And hospital dramas about heroes tirelessly working to save lives.
This heart, this life-giving heart, you want me to throw it out?
Alex, so help me.
This breathing life, you want me to let it die? Because if you shut down this surgery, both those things will happen.
I'm trying to save an entire hospital and everyone who works in it, Alex, not just your patient.
Blood pressure dropping. Okay, start coming down slowly.
Coming down.
And don't forget about the military. There's always a boogeyman out there. Grave threat to our national security, by God.
The Nazis are the enemy. Wade into them. Spill their blood. Shoot them in the belly.
We're moving into the valley of the shadow of death, where you will watch the back of the man next to you as he will watch yours. And you won't care what color he is or by what name he calls God. They say we're leaving home. We're going to what home was always supposed to be.
When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? Just some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it.
You know, you also need a population, and this is a tough one. You need a population willing to sacrifice their sons, and you need young men willing to give their lives to save this fantastic freedom machine. And this is a difficult one for people to accept.
Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom.
I mean, think about it. If we've been fighting all these wars, year after year, to protect our freedoms, how is it that we've lost so many freedoms?
America has as many surveillance cameras per person as communist China. Police departments from New York to LA are combining these cameras with facial recognition technology to track everyone. Even your car tire sensors allow you to be tracked. Your data is also being sold to the police and the federal government. A product called Fog Reveal allows police to create what are called patterns of life on a person, and to possibly track them without a warrant. The government is also continuing to use a backdoor in the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, to spy on Americans.
The Pentagon has an organization called Defense Human Services. You've got the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research and the Defense Department's Defense Intelligence Agency. You have NSA that's doing all of the intercepts. You've got DARPA that's doing all the futuristic inventions.
The biggest U.S. Department of Defense construction project isn't an aircraft carrier or a nuclear missile site. It's a massive data storage facility in Utah. The NSA's new facility will be able to hold the same amount of data as 64 trillion iPhones. Laid end to end, that number of iPhones could stretch to the moon and back over 10,000 times.
In 2021, U.S. Customs and Border Protection rolled out a biometric program at airports aimed at automating the entry-exit process.
This is like facial recognition technology.
We call it comparison because when people hear facial recognition, they automatically orient to surveillance.
Sure.
What we do is very distinct from surveillance. It's to enhance security. Where we're really working diligently, and kind of the final frontier for us, is getting it up and running in the vehicle environment at our land border ports of entry.
Starting May 7th, you will need a real ID to travel by air or to visit federal buildings in the United States. These IDs keep our country safe. Please do your part to protect our country. Go today and don't delay.
We will observe a brief moment of silence to honor those who've given the ultimate sacrifice in defense of freedom.
Amen. Amen. To freedom. To freedom.
All these things, they're utter bullshit. And the public servants, they don't give a damn about the people they serve.
We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
A couple days before Christmas 2004, Ty Ziegel got hit by a suicide bomber. And this is Ty Ziegel today.
It's just all, it's all one big scar, pretty much.
This model shows the large portion of his skull and part of his brain that had to be removed. And on top of that,
a few breaks in my jaw. I've got holes from shrapnel, 5, 6, 7 holes throughout my face here. Burns, neck, face, and head. This left arm ended up having to amputate first middle finger and my thumb, and I later got my big toe put on there.
Ty's monthly compensation was just under $2,700 a month, nowhere near the $4,000 Ty expected. Are you outraged?
Yeah.
Daniel was a hugger, and he wasn't a hugger anymore when he got home. He didn't like to be touched.
Daniel's parents, Howard and Jean Summers, still mourning a son who took his own life just weeks ago.
He planned it all, and we just don't understand.
They also didn't know until his note was found after his death how much he was suffering. A note that read in part, "My mind is a wasteland with visions of incredible horror." Despite the increase in intervention by every branch of the armed forces, the fact remains that suicide rate among veterans is still alarmingly high. One veteran every 65 minutes, 22 a day, commits suicide.
7 times over the course of the last 6 years, dude. The VA has continued to let me down. I've been off all my medications for 2 years. I've been doing it on my own, man. I'm just white knuckling. I'm gripping. Jesus, I'm so tired of it. It's not a lot to ask. I just want to be able to talk to the same person and not continue to have to retell these fucking stories that torment me.
I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. This is not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. I just...
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about, I guess
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up what
No,
you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you please regain order of your committee?
Order.
Please. There's a point of order.
We have a point of order.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl? I don't think
we are gonna move and we're gonna take your words down.
I second that motion.
But we obviously need government. It's not perfect, but aren't a lot of those people just trying to do their best in a tough situation?
Are you fucking retarded? I'm just trying to do the best in a tough situation. Oh my God. No wonder I despise the general public. Bunch of fucking morons. They've earned my contempt. Okay, obviously, none of that goes in the movie, right? None of that goes in the movie, obviously.
Yeah, no problem. We'll cut it out.
Because if you try to screw me on this, okay, I'm going to fuck you up. Are we clear?
We'll cut whatever you want, Natty. I told you that from the beginning.
Okay, then. All right, well, let's keep going. I think we're getting a lot of good stuff here, guys.
At this point, Natty shut down. He said he needed to settle his mind and reconnect with Source.
We're rolling?
I really tried to keep going, as I was beginning to get worried we wouldn't finish the interview. But he was inconsolable.
I'm not a religious man, but I am deeply spiritual. Even with all the success in my life, I used to dwell in my ego, which caused me a lot of pain. Sometimes, when I'm under a lot of pressure, like when filming this interview, I fall back into my ego mind. These immersive sound ceremonies help me to reconnect and to dissolve my ego. Wow. There's nothing like doing a sound bath with Tarananda. Whew. We're all one, each person playing their part in the grand cosmic drama. I am that I am, and I refuse to pass value judgments on myself. Ashanti. 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 So if they think their vote actually matters, slaves are less likely to revolt.
But what if it doesn't go our way? It's just us here. It doesn't matter which one of you wins the election. It's not about who's in power. It's who they think is in power.
So if we let them vote, they think they're in charge.
Two of your biggest war films, in fact, two of your biggest box office successes, were Desert Terror and The Mighty Boys of Patriot Station. In creating these projects, were you in cahoots with American intelligence? And if so, to what capacity?
You know, we need to tread very lightly here. Okay, let's not delve into the specifics of individuals, organizations, things like that. That can create unnecessary complications, and we want this movie to reach as many people as possible. So I will just say that, of course, there have always been rumors of government involvement with show business, and not just U.S. intelligence agencies either.
This is Mossad's old office. Its motto from Proverbs 24:6 says in so many words, wage war through deception and trickery.
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors, we're the producers, we're the main actors, and the world is our stage.
A trove of official documents obtained under U.S. Freedom of Information laws and published this year detail the dealings between filmmakers and intelligence officials at Langley, Virginia, the CIA headquarters.
Probably the best known are Zero Dark 30 and Argo, but they've also assisted the television show Homeland.
How do we deal with homegrown violent jihadists?
They've also assisted Alias.
You work for the very enemy you thought you were fighting.
24.
Tell me where the device is!
A CBS series called The Agency.
Then he slit his throat.
A film called The Sum of All Fears, starring Ben Affleck.
Captain Jack Ryan, CIA.
The CIA rarely has any kind of public credit that suggests that they had any hand in shaping the narrative.
And the CIA is a perfect microcosm of the American people, which means we are in danger of being splintered, more easily controlled by outside interests, both foreign and domestic. Interests that intend to use the agency for their own advantage. We believe that the CIA cannot exist unless it has no other interests but those of the American people.
I was given a glass of Kool-Aid, and so were the other children. This Kool-Aid was spiked with LSD. It was horrible.
In the early days of the Cold War, the CIA ordered the creation of a secret program intended to find ways of mind control. They funded an army of psychiatric institutions across the United States and Canada to perform experiments on unsuspecting patients using psychedelic drugs, sensory deprivation, electroshock treatment, and more. The program was known by its codename, MKUltra.
It was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States. Patients at psychiatric hospitals, prisoners in federal institutions, and even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent and experimented upon.
Initial projects within MKUltra included Operation Midnight Climax.
They established what were called safe houses, where prostitutes would lure men to these apartments. And then once the men were in the apartments, they were dosed with LSD. And then they were basically studied by CIA scientists, usually behind a two-way mirror.
Electronic mind control research is not new. A scientific milestone in this area came in the 1960s when Dr. Jose Delgado demonstrated remote control over a charging bull. By connecting a radio antenna to electrodes inserted into the bull's brain, Delgado proved that the animal's aggressive impulses could be thwarted by electronically manipulating the bull's muscle reflexes.
Any function in the brain, emotions, intellect, personality, well, could be perhaps modified by this non-invasive technology.
These tactics, they've been around a long time. But the power they wield today is inconceivable compared to really just 100 years ago. We are truly living in the golden age of brainwashing and mind control.
The U.S. government's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, commonly known as DARPA, announces a bold initiative to develop what they call next-generation non-surgical neurotechnology. It is designed to allow the human brain to directly interface with machines.
We could have a sensor maybe on the surface of our head, or maybe implanted somewhere in our body, in our brain, or something that allows us to interact directly with our communications gear, our processing gear, our weapon systems. Maybe the next step is we can send instructions and information to an actual person from a distance with this kind of technology to let another person control their actions. But that could be something that could be malicious.
In the near future, DARPA may possess the technology to remotely control the human mind.
The mind control and the programming that I've touched on, it's a tool, but it's also a weapon. See, if you can convince a large part of an entire population to question fundamental reality, like a man can have a baby, that's very powerful. See, identity, confusion, degeneracy, those are weapons.
In 2008, Thomas Beatty, a man, gave birth not by a C-section to a healthy baby girl. His pregnancy was a pretty big deal. He was on Oprah, became a public speaker, and later gave birth to 2 more children. Beatty is one of a number of transgender men who have elected to have a child. But one of the many non-heartwarming reactions to the Beatty story was that his pregnancy didn't count because he was designated female at birth and had a uterus.
I was assigned female at birth. You'll hear the term AFAB. That means assigned female at birth. And if you hear AMAB, that means assigned male at birth. When it comes to my gender identity, I am gender nonconforming, genderqueer, or non-binary.
Ms. Roderick, Marilyn, can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Yes. Denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that
dangerous.
trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence?
So we're having a baby. I'm gonna be a dad. Yeah.
If you compare the movie and television programming from the 1950s to what's airing today, see the degradation, it's astounding. And yet people, they don't really see it. See, it happens very slowly over time.
This boy and girl coming home from school look quite content with life. And why not? They're looking forward to an important date, dinner at home with the family.
You enjoy playing mother, don't you?
Someday I'm going to be a real one. And I want a large family, 10 at least.
10?
There's an old saying where I come from. On the tree that bears much fruit, the sun shines brightest.
Who's to say that the boy would be happier your way or mine? Why not let him decide?
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late. Wrong ideas come packaged with so much glitter, it's hard to convince them that other things might be better in the long run. And all a parent can do is say, wait, trust me, and try to keep temptation away.
When I was a senior in high school, I
Got married to Dad.
and it was a mistake. And I just don't want you to make the same one.
Mom, I'm my own person. Let me lead my own life.
Honey, I want you to lead your own life. I'm glad that you can make your own decisions. And a very good decision would be to date a lot of boys.
You know why we gotta break down in law and order in this country, Archie? Because we got poverty, real poverty. And you know why we got that? Because guys like you are unwilling to give the black man, the Mexican American, and all the other minorities their just and rightful hard-earned share of the American dream.
Who said he wasn't smart?
Oh, look, I can accept the fact that he's gay, but why does he have to slip a ring on this guy's finger so the whole world will know? Why did you marry George? We loved each other. We wanted to make a lifetime commitment, wanted everybody to know. That's what Doug and Clayton want, too. Everyone wants someone to grow old with, and shouldn't everyone have that chance?
I can't take it anymore. This man is straight. You're crazy. I'm as gay as the locker room at the Ice Capades. This is just your pathetic attempt to eliminate the competition. And besides, I think Jack is the straight one. I have never been accused of something so heinous. How dare you, sir?
I'm no dummy. I work in the city, and I know a man pretending to be a woman when I see one, and I see Cherie right in front of me. This is not that kind of establishment.
Wait a minute.
God may have blessed you with Barbies, a backyard with a pony in it, a boyfriend named Jake, and an unwanted pregnancy that your father paid to terminate so you could go to college and major in being a basic bitch. None of these things make you a woman.
Fill you with pride, showing who you are on the inside. Wave that pride flag up high, be true to you. Show your pride, wave those flags, everybody. Here we go. Red light, orange, healing, yellow is sunlight, green, nature, blue, harmony, purple is spirit. Baby blue, pink, white represent transgender people, and black and brown represent the queer and trans people of color.
It's the boiling frog, see. By the time this degeneracy gets to the point where the people notice it, see, it's too late.
Biological sex is fake. Yes, we all know that gender roles are fake, but do not say to a trans person, biologically male, born female, male-bodied. No, 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 no. There is no biological criteria for gender that is both universal and a binary in human beings. Where does that leave us? Free.
Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now, Gary.
I'm hurt bad. Really bad. He's not a good-looking girl. He's a very beautiful man.
At 16, I finally realized what happened to me, and that I had made a huge mistake. I realized the beauty of motherhood was stolen from me by medical professionals who my family entrusted me to. How did we get to this point? How did we get to the point where nearly every pediatric institution in the country considers it best practice to remove the healthy breast tissue of children while administering drugs typically used to chemically castrate high-risk sex offenders?
Families marching 4x4, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching 4x4, hurrah, hurrah. Trans members of this family all love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come join the fun!
Velma, if this is the end, I need you to know that I love you.
The thing I can't understand is, if they destroy everything, what's left for them to control? Like, what's the point?
The question itself assumes that these are even people that you can reason with. But who can know? I mean, they are who they are. They do what they do. Can you convince a fish to stop swimming by reasoning with it?
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
Our bodies will be so high-tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves.
In the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
Once you know how to produce bodies and brains and minds, so cheap labor in Africa or South Asia or wherever, it simply counts for nothing. Again, I think that the biggest question maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades will be what to do with all these useless people. What to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless.
George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
So, Natty, what's your favorite Barnum statement?
I'm not sure I have a favorite. I do love Back to Blue, though. I mean, here you've got literally tens of millions of people on the so-called right, supposed to be against big government, pro-freedom, but they support the government armed agents, and they don't just support them. They cheer them on.
If you was born in the country, raised in the country, back the blue, you gotta back the blue, yeah. If all lives matter, blue lives matter too. Back the blue, you gotta back the blue, yeah.
Lindsay LaCausey started the group Back the Blue NC on Facebook, and in just 1 month, more than 40,000 people have joined, spreading the message that blue lives matter.
The ones that put on a badge and go out with a target on their back every day to work, we need to let them know that there are people out there that support them and want to thank them.
I'm a J6 defendant. I was pardoned, but I'm not taking the pardon. Well, I just came here to make amends.
Pamela Hemphill served 60 days in prison for taking part in the Capitol riot 4 years ago.
I'm advocating as much as I can because you were there for us. We need to be there for you. You are the heroes.
What's sticking out to you right now? What are you remembering?
Watching them come by with all the pepper spray in their eyes.
I have videos that show Capitol Police inciting riots. They were walking through the crowd with a super soaker style water gun that was full of bear spray. Brandon Merriman, who is the special agent in charge of January 6th, he told me that if my videos find the media or the internet, that I would, quote, spend the rest of my life in prison. I asked for what? He said, I'll find something.
911, it's an emergency. Wake up, they're fighting for you and for me. Don't give up. It's time we defend and remind them we will always stand beside you. We will back the blue.
To protect and serve. That's another. It's genius. I mean, it's absolute genius. Precisely who is it they're protecting and serving?
This stretch of Wrightwood between Kimball and St. Louis and Logan Square has been barricaded and blocked by police to keep out protesters and keep the mayor's home safe.
And I make no apologies whatsoever for that.
I mean, none of this government abuse can get jammed down the people's throats without the armed government heroes.
You're fucking choking me, dude! What the fuck? You're fucked in the head! You're fucked!
You're choking her. As a man on a girl, and you choked her. For what? For a mask? For not having a mask? Look how pathetic you are. She doesn't have a mask. Are you serious? Are you serious? Just for not having a mask. Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up. Go inside now! Get in the house!
Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake. You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. You are to put both of your hands palms down, straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed! I'm sorry. I didn't say this in conversation. Put your hand here! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me. Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do what you Don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back into the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me! Yes, sir. Don't
Now to an ABC 15 exclusive. A cop who killed, fired from the force, is now getting paid collecting taxpayer-funded check every month for the rest of his life.
What happened was wrong. He was my husband and my kid's father.
Prosecutors and police agreed it was wrong. In March 2016, Brailsford is criminally charged with murder. He was later acquitted. He also received a notice of dismissal. All that was very public. But what happened a couple years later is just coming to light now. A deal between Brailsford and the Mesa City Manager's office, allowing him to apply for medical retirement and an accidental disability pension, granting Brailsford a $2,500 a month pension. As for Brailsford, he'll get a neutral reference if a future employer calls Mesa. And he's not willing to talk about how his termination for killing an unarmed man turned into a check for life.
To serve and protect, it's cause and effect, the brave uniform of truth. Cause they're me and they're you, honest and true. This credit's been long overdue. I'm back in the blue.
Quiet on set.
Yeah, I know. It is weird. I can't.
Susan! Hey, how are you? That means
to...
shut the fuck up. Superstar Rent-A-Car. You're a sight for sore ears, my friend. Yeah, we gotta do lunch at Wexler's next week when I'm back in town.
Natty, I'd like to, if possible, talk to you about one of your former producers, John Pearson Weissman.
Are you trying to ambush me?
No, not at all. I just thought that you could illuminate us on the allegations.
Look, I had nothing to do with those allegations or his personal life. We immediately fired that man. We condemned his behavior in the strongest possible language, and I personally wrote a very sternly worded letter to his manager.
Yeah, of course. You were universally exonerated for any wrongdoing.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that case, and nor do I want to.
Well, not specific to his case, but we all know this type of behavior is widely considered pervasive. Not only in the entertainment industry, but all of these influential institutions we've been discussing during this interview.
Dale, yeah, get the car ready. Now, the interview's over. And get the jet ready. We're going back to LA. Now.
Where is Charlie?
He was in the bathroom.
Slow speed chase. Yo, what the fuck? I swear to God, I'm gonna kill this driver. Yeah, fuck you too. And your gay-ass rubber shoes.
What the hell are you fools doing? Why are you following me?
Dude, can we just go somewhere and sit down for just a few more questions so we can finish the film?
Look, guys, I've given you a lot of my time, but I'm a busy man. I've got to get back to LA, okay? I've got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of great projects coming up. We got Death Trap 7 this summer.
Natty, you've given us privileged and some quite alarming information in this interview. Before you fly off into the sunset, what do you want to say to the people? What should they do? What's the solution?
Look, guys, I think you've got more than enough to make a great, entertaining documentary, and maybe even enlighten some people. At the end of the day, all I really care about is trying to make a difference in this world, and maybe, in some small way, bring the people together.
Bring the people together? That's a Barnum statement.
Well, it's a Barnum world, baby.
It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.